Welcome back, everyone, and today we have Kevin Durant just made everything worse. Now, obviously, we've seen. Obviously, we're familiar with the KD files, and all. But I think yesterday Kevin Durant, responded, about like those allegations on him, and I don't know, his response to me, at least, it didn't sound like someone who really wasn't, who really had nothing to do with this. He said, "Oh, I don't get into that nonsense." Which is pretty ironic, knowing that he does get into this nonsense. He has admitted, so many times to, to do like the internet thing, burner account stuff. So him calling it nonsense out of nowhere, it kind of, I don't know. I don't know. To me, it's just a little, sus, but whatever. I hope you guys are doing fine. Let's go ahead and jump into this.
I know you gotta ask these questions, but I'm not here to get into Twitter nonsense. My teammates know what it is. We've been locked in the whole season. So
we've been locked in the whole season. I don't know. That's kind of sus to hear this, especially after this stuff about Jabari came out. I don't know.
This is an issue now where it doesn't take much to convince people that Kevin Durant has a burner.
It only took a couple of days for this entire Kevin Durant situation to get way worse. If you saw our video breaking down the original leaked group chat messages from All-Star Weekend, you know the story. An account called GetHigher77 gets exposed trashing KD's current and former teammates. Alperen Şengün can't shoot or defend. Jabari Smith Jr. can't be trusted. Devin Booker and Frank Vogel are compared to the most evil dictators of all time. Russ is a triple-double Coke bear. And probably the craziest thing of all is what he said about Steve Kerr. Well, on Wednesday, the Rockets had their first practice back from All-Star break, and Kevin Durant finally opened his mouth about it, and let me tell you something, the way he responded to this whole thing just made everything 1,000 times worse.
Yeah.
Instead of just denying it and moving on, KD gave one of the most carefully worded non-answers in the history of NBA press conferences, which is very ironic because in my last video, I said Kevin Durant is notorious for not giving media-trained responses. And in this particular instance, he gave a media-trained response and it made everything way worse. And now the media is split. The young guys on the team are trying to do damage control on Instagram, and someone on X just proved that they knew about this burner account 3 years ago.
So while I was recording this video, something really cool happened to me. I had a pending grocery order from Instacart, and the guy who delivered my groceries happened to watch my videos.
Bro, are you Flight Mike?
Yeah.
Oh my god, bro, I watch your ton, bro.
It's so funny. I was literally in the middle of recording.
Yeah.
What?
So upon him telling me that he watched my videos, I asked him if he was subscribed and had my notifications on. And the moment he showed me he was, I tipped him $100.
Yeah, you got my notifications on too? Come on, man, yo, what you Damn, bro, you don't have to do that, bro. Of course, man. Damn, bro. I really appreciate that a lot.
Hey, that's W right there, man.
Listen, you could pay for a streaming app, and
I did not ask. I don't care. What?
Premium.
Now, this isn't to say that I'm some incredible human being for tipping him $100. No. It more gave me the idea that if any of you guys ever recognize me on the street and show me that you're subscribed and have my notifications on, I'll give you $100 on the spot, and you might be the next person to be in one of my videos. On top of that, I wanted to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, because these types of experiences genuinely make my day. Just meeting you guys in the real world, and even having the opportunity to talk basketball with you guys a little bit.
So yeah, they're trying to indoctrinate me to be a real Lakers fan. I was a Carmelo guy. Okay. So I was a Nuggets fan and a Knicks fan. And then I had to just go with Bron. Bron's been my dad's favorite player.
Yeah.
So when Bron came here, meet you, bro.
It's good to meet you too, man. Thank you for your support.
Of course, bro. Of course, man. Keep doing your thing, bro. I didn't.
I'm so grateful for the position that you guys have put me in, and genuinely, this was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. Now, enough on that. Let's get to today's video.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? So do you remember how the burner said that Alperen Şengün is a traffic cone that can't defend, and that the Charlotte Hornets have better young players than the Houston Rockets? Well, check this out. 10 days before the league, KD was literally commenting caught on camera screaming play some defense at Şengün during a loss to Charlotte. It's crazy the amount of information that's come out recently. So here's what happened. The Rockets practiced on Wednesday in Houston, first time back since All-Star Weekend. And reporters Varun Shankar and Kaliko were right there waiting. Because obviously the first question is going to be about the burner. A reporter asked Kevin Durant directly, is that account yours?
The handle for the burner was @GetHigher77. Is that your account to send the messages?
And here's what Kevin Durant said, and listen to this carefully.
I know you gotta ask these questions, but I'm not here to get into Twitter nonsense.
Okay, let's pause right here. Pay attention to what he said. I'm not here to get into this Twitter nonsense. That's not a denial, guys. That's not him saying,
this is not my account. You guys are being ridiculous.
He's not saying that the screenshots are fake. He's not saying that the screenshots were photoshopped. He's not saying that someone's out there trying to sabotage him. He's not even saying,
I would never talk like this about my teammates and my ex-teammates.
Honestly, if he would have just said, no, that's not me, honestly, it would have made it, honestly, even way better. But now, I don't know.
That is a man carefully choosing his words and not confirming anything. It's politician talk. It's PR 101. And the internet noticed immediately. Then came the follow-up. A reporter asked if he had discussed the situation with his teammates. And again, this is very uncharacteristic of Kevin Durant, but he dodged the question entirely.
My teammates know what it is. We've been locked in the whole season. So they're not breaking. Had great practice today. We're full for the road for it.
Now think about what that means. My teammates know what it is. What does that even mean? Does it mean his teammates know the account isn't his? Does it mean they've talked about it privately and they're good? Or does it mean his teammates know Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant and that he's always been on social media and they've accepted it? The ambiguity is doing all of the heavy lifting here, because if it were that simple, if the account genuinely wasn't his, you'd think the easiest thing in the world would be to just say,
guys, this is not my account. Someone just did a really good job impersonating me.
2 seconds and done. But instead, you get the most media-trained PR response ever from a player in a situation where it doesn't really do him much good. It gets even better. Kevin Durant wasn't the only person asked about his burner account. His head coach was as well, and his answer was equally telling. Look at what Udoka says.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do social media, and so you hear about some things secondhand, but I don't really live in that world or comment on social media, Twitter, or any of that, and so don't pay much attention at all.
Exact same type of answers. I don't know.
And that's a perfectly reasonable response from a head coach. Ime Udoka doesn't have social media. I wonder why.
ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting
yeah, with his controversy.
Disciplinary action, likely a season-long suspension for his role in a consensual, intimate relationship with a woman who's a member of the Celtics staff.
But fine, notice what he also didn't do. He didn't defend Kevin Durant. He didn't say Kevin told me it's not him. He didn't say the organization looked into it. He just said he doesn't pay attention to social media. That's a sidestep, not a defense. And then there's Alperen Şengün, who was also asked about it and reportedly avoided answering questions about the controversy entirely.
How often do you see Kevin Durant checking his phone after the game for Twitter?
I don't talk about my favorite stuff.
The guy whose defense was questioned by the burner account, whose shooting was called out, didn't want to talk about it either. That tells you something. Whether it tells you they've handled it internally or that it's still awkward is up for us to decide. But here's the thing that kills me. Remember, just a few days ago at All-Star Media Day, KD was asked whether he'd give up video games or Twitter for the rest of his life. And his answer was,
I'm gonna go Twitter. Because they don't deserve to hear this God level like talk I'm giving to them. They take it for granted,
I speak for myself and other content creators in my space. We do not take the content that you give us for granted, KD. I mean, I was worried that we'd have nothing to talk about until the playoff race, and you've given us a gold mine. This is probably the most bizarre story I've covered since the NBA gambling scandal. But KD's response isn't even the wildest part of what dropped today, because a Twitter user just proved he knew about this exact burner 3 years ago. He tweeted the handle in 2023, and now he's explaining how he got the info. That's coming up. Okay, so this is the part that really changes things, guys. Because up until now, the argument against this being KD's burner was anyone can make a fake account. But here's what blows the entire argument up. A Twitter user named 16and0, and this is documented, you could go and look this up right now, tweeted the handle @GetHigher77 on February 3rd, 2023. 3 years ago, before any of this blew up. Before All-Star Weekend 2026. Before the screenshots. This man identified the account 3 whole years before the rest of the internet caught on. And after the story went viral,
3 whole years, what the hell? Bro, what the? Hold on. Whoa. 3 whole years, okay. Seemed like he knew or whatever. Oh. Crazy.
16-0 came back and explained how he knew. He would post, "Just logged in, wow, this blew up. I used to be in a group chat with him when he was on the Nets. That was definitely his account. It was a group chat of me, like 5 other people on my old account before it got suspended. When people pressed him for more details, he doubled down. He said it was an open secret, let's say. That's the best way I can put it. I used to be popular on my old account before it got suspended. Someone else that was popular on here that I don't want to mention knew that was Kevin Durant's account, and then he added me to the chat." He also explained why he was confident. "Because I was an actual follower of his burner account. In his real life, people he knew would reply to all of his tweets." Now look, is this 100% conclusive proof? No, but think about what this means. This isn't someone who saw the screenshots on Sunday and jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
This is someone who identified the exact account handle at GetHigher77 3 years before the leak happened, during KD's time on the Nets. And he's saying it was common knowledge in certain circles that this was KD's burner, that it was an open secret. This is the kind of detail that shifts the conversation from maybe it's fake to it's really hard to explain this away. Because how would a random troll in 2021 create an account, build it with KD's inner circle connections, get into group chats that talk about games from a first-person player perspective, and maintain this for 5 years without anyone noticing? The math stops mathing at some point, guys. So the media has officially weighed in, and it is split right down the middle, which honestly makes this even more entertaining. Let's start with Bill Simmons. I actually really like Bill Simmons' takes, even though sometimes they can be a little loony. But honestly, in his podcast with Zach Lowe, which these are 2 individuals that I respect dearly and what they've contributed to NBA media, Simmons did not hold back on his take.
We at least have to acknowledge that this is happening in real time, that there is a burner account, it's an account, and it's allegedly him, and there's a lot of signs that it's him. Just talking a bunch of people that he's either played with or played against.
Simmons went even further. He said,
if this is all true, and he's talking about guys that he plays with right now, I don't know if we've ever been in a situation like this. A social media scandal of revealed tweets/texts of somebody disparaging people on his team that he then has to go play with tomorrow night.
He pointed out the video of Kevin Durant in the warm-up line on his phone as additional evidence. Bill Simmons is not some random blogger. He's one of the most influential voices in basketball media, and he's basically saying there's smoke. On the other side, you got Max Kellerman, one of the most brilliant analytical minds in all of basketball. A man who Terrell Owens once said,
"Max almost seems blacker than you, Stephen A."
On his podcast, Game Over with Rich Paul, you know, LeBron James' agent that's been saying bizarre stuff to the media ever since this podcast started, Max Kellerman said this.
If people, oh, this is Kevin Durant's burner account. Why? Because someone claims that they were in a chat with Kevin Durant and they saw the same pic avatars. I don't know, but it doesn't sound like they have anything concrete. Question is, does it sound credible to people? And the answer that, because Kevin Durant's had burner accounts, he's admitted he's had burner accounts. So this is an issue now where it doesn't take much to convince people that Kevin Durant has a burner and that he's talking about guys.
Kellerman's argument is basically this. Because everyone already knows KD has used burners, it's actually way too easy to fake something like this and have people believe it. The very thing that makes it believable, KD's history, is also the thing that makes him an easy target. And honestly, that's a fair point. KD's reputation with burners means he'll get blamed for any anonymous account that sounds remotely like him. That's the bet he's made. And then there's Iman Shumpert, who went on ESPN's NBA Today and basically said everybody needs to relax.
At the end of the day, he's still 7 feet with a jump shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's get to what's real and what.
So you've got Bill Simmons saying there's a lot of signs it's real, Kellerman saying that there's no concrete evidence and KD is an easy target, and Shumpert saying who cares, the man can still hoop at his age. 3 completely different takes, and none of them are wrong. That's what makes this situation so wild. We're in this gray area where everybody has an opinion and nobody has proof. Now, here's where the body language gets interesting, because while KD was giving his non-answer to reporters, the young guys on the team were doing something very telling on social media. Jabari Smith Jr., the same Jabari who the burner called not mentally strong and said he can't trust to make a shot or get a stop, and used a slur to describe him, went on Instagram and posted a photo of himself with Kevin Durant on the court. No caption drama, no shade, just a picture with his teammate. And honestly, that can be read 2 ways. Either Jabari genuinely doesn't care and he's showing the world that him and KD are good, or this is damage control. The team told everybody to post Unity content and squash the narrative before it spirals.
Yeah.
Then there's Alperen Şengün, the franchise player whose defense and shooting were questioned by the burner. Şengün posted an Instagram story of himself hugging Jabari Smith Jr. on the court. Not Kevin Durant, but Jabari, with a Young Thug song playing in the background. The two guys who got trashed by the burner hugging each other on Instagram for the world to see. Now think about what that says, guys. Şengün didn't post a picture with KD. He posted a picture with Jabari, the other guy who got called out. It's almost like the young guys are saying we're good with each other, regardless of what anybody thinks about us. Whether that's aimed at KD or aimed at the internet, it's a statement either way. NBA fans saw right through it though.
I mean, bro, just look at the comments under the Kelly Eco interview. I'm not here to get into the Twitter nonsense. And he's like straight up looking at his phone. I'm not here to get into Twitter nonsense. The biggest Twitter keyboard warrior ever. It's all posted Kevin Durant at the All-Star game looking concerned about the burner account.
But here's the part that I don't think people are talking about enough. There's a clip from February 5th, 10 days before the burner leak, that makes this whole situation hit completely differently. The Rockets lost to the Charlotte Hornets 109-99. During the game, microphones caught Kevin Durant yelling at Alperen Şengün to play some defense.
Knipple, a little stutter step drive and score. You gotta be so worried about it.
This happened after a blown assignment in the second quarter. Knipple got two of the easiest points of his career because Şengün didn't rotate, and KD was visibly frustrated. Now look at that night's stat line. KD had 31 points on 11 of 21 shooting with 5 steals. He was the best player on the court. Şengün had 7 points on 3 of 11 shooting with the team low plus minus among starters. It was one of Şengün's worst games of the season. And after the game, Ime Udoka was asked about teams hunting Şengün on defense, and his answer was brutal. He said, "It's been the case since I've been here, so no different there." He also said players allow offense to dictate their game and give some away on defense when you're not as engaged because you're not scoring. Now go back and read what the burner said about Şengün. Your franchise player can't shoot or defend. That's a way bigger issue than my turnovers. The burner complained about Şengün's defense. KD, on camera, 10 days before the leak, screamed at Şengün to play defense. Udoka confirmed that teams have been targeting Şengün's defense all season long. Do you see how this lines up? The frustration in those burner messages didn't come from nowhere. Whether or not the account is KD's, the sentiment matches exactly what we've seen play out on the court.
Damn.
KD is carrying the scoring load. Şengün is struggling defensively, and someone, whether it's KD on a burner or someone very close to the situation, is venting about it in group chats. And here's the craziest part. The Rockets played tonight against the Charlotte Hornets. The same Hornets the burner said have better young players than Houston. The same Hornets that beat the Rockets on February 5th when KD screamed at Şengün. I gotta admit, the script writers cooked with this one. The Rockets are currently 11-9 over their last 20 games. That's barely over 500. Udoka has been questioning the team's competitive drive, and now you've got a burner scandal on top of it. Everything that's happening off the court is a direct mirror of what's been brewing on it.
Damn, that's crazy to know, man.
So where do we go from here? Well, the Rockets still have a season to play. They're 33-20, 4th in the West. KD is averaging 25.8 points on 50.6% shooting and 40.3% from 3. The man has passed both Will Chamberlain and Dirk Nowitzki on the all-time scoring list this season and is closing in on Michael Jordan at 32,292 career points. On the court, KD is still elite. But here's the problem. This is an issue that could torpedo the rest of the Rockets season. Championship teams are built on trust, and right now, every single person in that locker room, whether they'll admit it publicly or not, is wondering what KD might be saying about them in a group chat somewhere. Think about it from Jabari Smith's perspective. He grew up idolizing Durant. He was a massive KD fan as a kid, and now the man he looked up to might have been in private group chats calling him a slur and saying he can't be trusted to make a shot.
Damn, that's crazy. Like, imagine, like, it's like even though nothing's been confirmed, just thinking, just like, you know, how like just put yourself in these guys' shoes, like, bro, like how it might feel for them, bro. It's like they don't know what to believe, and that right there, you know, it probably does take a toll on them, bro.
And think about the organizational investment, guys. Houston traded Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and the 10th overall pick to Phoenix to get KD. They gave him a $90 million extension in October of 2025. He's earning $54.7 million this season alone. The entire franchise plan was built around KD mentoring these young guys and leading them to a championship. That investment looks a lot different if the mentor is privately trashing the mentees. The craziest part is KD has a player option for 2027, so he could leave in a year from now, and the Rockets could have made that trade for nothing. And given Kevin Durant's history of always thinking the grass is greener on the other side, whether it's thinking Golden State is better than OKC, or wanting to build his own legacy in Brooklyn with Kyrie, only for him to demand a trade when that didn't work out and going to Phoenix, only for him demanding a trade again to a contender in Houston, only for him to think the Charlotte Hornets had better young talent than Houston, it wouldn't shock me again if Kevin Durant, once again, tries to find a brand new team in the offseason.
I mean, of course.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Kevin Durant is one of the greatest basketball players who have ever lived. That's not up for debate. The man's resume is insane. What he's doing at 37 years old is remarkable, and he deserves the benefit of the doubt on any unverified allegation. But KD also has to understand something. You can't spend a decade admitting to burner accounts, joking about burner accounts, and actively engaging with random fans on social media at 2 a.m. and then be surprised when people believe the latest burner is yours too.
Facts.
You created this reality. Remember the interviews I showed you in our last video.
But I use Twitter to engage with the fans, but I happen to take it a little too far.
I'm still gonna do the burner thing. I'm still gonna do that.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I just slipped up that one time.
And when the biggest burner leak of his career drops, his response is, "I'm not gonna get into this Twitter nonsense." Come on, bro. Either deny it or own it. This middle ground where you can neither confirm or deny while your young teammates are posting damage control photos on Instagram, that's not leadership, that's avoidance. So if this is your first time seeing one of my videos, make sure you're subscribed because otherwise YouTube may not recommend my content to you again. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
Damn, what do you guys think of that, bro? Anyways, it is really, even though nothing's been confirmed, you know, we all have our own opinions. To me, it is sus. But what do you guys think? Damn it. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. I have to go react to the game. You know, the Rockets play tonight. Let's go ahead and do it.